My name's Tony Trimingham. I'm the founder and CEO of Family Drug Support. We're a service that supports families who've been affected by alcohol and other drugs. We started the service 23 years ago, and we take on our telephone line 25,000 calls a year on average. Today, I'm going to talk about aspects of volunteering, what we're looking for in volunteers, the sorts of calls we get, and why people should become involved with Family Drug Support.
The kind of people we're looking for to volunteer on our support line are people with some life experience. We're looking for people who are great listeners, who can display empathy and a non-judgmental attitude. We're also looking for people who are willing to give some commitment to our line and to our clients. We're not sort of a drop in and drop out. We want people who are going to stick around and give their time quite regularly. And looking for people who really want to provide support to the community.
The people we really are looking for are people with life skills. You don't have to be a drug and alcohol expert at all. You just got to be someone with good life skills to be on our telephone line.
So we have a broad range of volunteers, different age and cultural backgrounds. We would love to see more people from Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander backgrounds volunteering with our organisation. Likewise, people from cultural and linguistically diverse backgrounds, people from countries outside of Australia who now make Australia their home. We welcome anyone who's willing and able. Not everyone who attends our training will end up a volunteer on our line, but the vast majority will. And we provide a lot of support, training, and ongoing coaching to help people.
I think it's very important for people who volunteer for Family Drug Support for them to believe in our model, to believe in our ethos. We are a harm reduction service, which means that we first and foremost want to keep people safe and alive. We want to support policies and issues that are beneficial and reduce the harm that drug and alcohol bring. So it's really important that people do believe and understand that policy. We don't really have people who are zero tolerant in their attitude, who think that drugs are bad and people should just say no and it's a moral issue and they just shouldn't do it. That sort of person would not go down well on our telephone line. That's one of the things we try to establish when we interview them, whether they've got any of those attitudes.
So our organisation is very much rooted in harm reduction. I'd say I get concerned about anyone wanting to apply who thinks families are part of the problem, who subscribes to those sort of simplistic ideals and cliches. Families need to kick people out and let them hit rock bottom and they'll wake up to themselves. That's not the kind of things we're looking for. There's no easy answers for these problems, and families are equipped more than anyone to support and to encourage and motivate the person they're worried about. I think the main benefits for people wanting to volunteer with our organisation are developing listening skills and understanding how to display empathy. For some people who are on a study or career path, you can get some very practical experience in some counselling and psychology skills. And generally, you're part of a big, warm team that is providing benefit to the community.
It's usually a very personal thing. It's not only just about learning good skills, but it's also about learning a lot about yourself. It gives you great skills to cope with people and their problems in any everyday life. But I think it brings a lot to knowing a lot about yourself as well.
I think like all volunteer programs, one of the main benefits is feeling like you're helping people and you're making a difference. But also another benefit is the empathy that you're able to give and how the people who are calling you value that and need it. And often you get a comment at the end of a telephone call where they say, "This has helped me so much, I really appreciate it."
For people who've been involved in drug and alcohol issues in their families, they get a sense that they're giving back to other people and they get an enormous amount of pleasure from that.
People don't ring our line when things are okay. Usually by the time they ring us, there's been a crisis. There's been a knock on the door from the police. There might have been drugs found in the house. And then people ring because they're absolutely in fear, anger, disappointed, and lots of grieving. So when they ring us, they want someone to fix it for them. They particularly want somebody to tell them what to do. It's incredible when you sit there and explore what's happening with them. They actually make their decisions about what they want to do. They are the expert with their family member. We're not. They know that family member better than we do.
They're very distressed and they haven't had an opportunity to speak to someone, or if they do have opportunities to speak to them, to other people, they often feel very judged. So it's about really talking to someone who doesn't know your story.
They ring about a multitude of issues, but sadly there's probably 2 or 3 main themes. They ring about the person they love. They're terribly worried about that person, and they're often very frightened about what might happen to them, either going to jail or dying. And the other thing that they will often ring about, however they don't express it this way, is the impact that person's use is on their family dynamics. Families will pull apart and fragment and have many different opinions about what needs to be done. And often the person who's calling is the person juggling all the different demands by different family members.
We have people that are dealing with violence or pretty unpleasant behaviour from their family members. We get all sorts of things where people are concerned about the impact for someone's mental health, the impact on the person using a substance's health. I think for a lot of people, they're also just struggling themselves and struggling to find a forum where they can talk to someone who's not going to tell them what to do, who's just going to be there to listen and provide them with some support.
We hear some really sad stories. We get bereavement calls from time to time, which are very tragic. We get calls from people who are in chaos, where the person using drugs has got mental conditions and there's psychotic episodes. There are occasional violent episodes going on. Sometimes people are in trouble with the law. Sometimes there are multi-drugs being used, and so it's not just one particular drug. There's no typical call. You just get many and varied.
Firstly, you don't need qualifications to be a volunteer at FDS, but you do need the qualities of patience, empathy, and you need to be a good listener. People are ringing up to tell you something. They're not ringing up for you to jump in quickly and cut them off. So I think they're really important qualities.
There's no need to have professional experience in counselling or psychology, drug and alcohol qualifications. We get many people who do have experience, be that personal or professional, but you don't need any of those things. What we're really looking for are people who are caring and empathetic, people who can listen, and people who want to provide support to someone going through a tough time.
I think the qualities that you need to have, you need to be kind, you need to listen, not judge, and give someone space to tell their story.
We do primarily deliver our training in capital cities. Our training is run in person. It's a very interactive course. And while not everyone may end up on our line as a volunteer, everyone tends to find our training really beneficial and interesting.
Anybody who's got any counselling, psychological, personal therapy background is very welcome. But it's not essential to have those. We will give people the essentials over the training weekend. We give them all the basic drug and alcohol knowledge they need, and we'll also give them some listening skills and some practice at listening and being empathic.
We hope everyone who attends our training gets something out of it, and we certainly hope to find some wonderful volunteers to support our clients and families.
They need to be able to commit to one shift every 3 weeks on average, for a minimum of 12 months. In actual fact, we keep many of our volunteers for a lot longer than that. They say that the average volunteer in any kind of general volunteering lasts for 2 years. We managed to get an average of double that. And over the years, we've had people who've been with us for 15, 20 years. So we do quite well at maintaining them, and we just want people to make that minimum 12 months, once every 3 weeks commitment.
anyone who's thinking about volunteering with family drug support, I'd really encourage you to first have a look at our website to get a good understanding of what it is that we do. And please join us, send us a message, get in touch. There's an expression of interest form on our website. And if you have a bit of a look at what we do and send something through, we'll get in touch. We'll have a conversation with you around what we're looking for and the requirements.
I'd encourage anybody to be an FDS volunteer and to consider it. Having been a person who has needed FDS in my own family and then been a volunteer, I know the difference it makes to the people who ring up. It can be the start of them feeling like they've got a little bit of their lives back. It's an incredibly important role and incredibly rewarding.
I couldn't recommend it strongly enough. You'll be part of the FDS family, which is a wonderful organisation, and also you'll be supported, you'll get training, you'll be put on the line only when you're ready.
I think both personally and for the benefit of the people who ring the line and our service, you couldn't do anything better. If you're thinking about volunteering, if you're thinking about something that's relatively easy to do because you do it from your own home at your own time, I would say come and do it.